Hello, believers of Christ. Hope you're doing well. So, today I'll be taking you guys through Genesis chapter 6, verse 12. And it says, God saw how corrupt the earth had become, for all the people on the earth had corrupted their ways. That's the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. So, this verse has 7 main teachings or lessons we can take away from it. The first teaching: corruption is universal without God. All flesh had corrupted his way. Shows that humanity had fully abandoned God's path. Without God, sin becomes pervasive and all encompassing. Yes, without God, sin becomes pervasive and all encompassing. The second teaching: God observes all and every actions. God looked upon the earth. This reminds us that nothing is hidden from Him. Accountability exists even when people think they are unnoticed by God. Yes, accountability will always exist. God sees everything. You can't hide from God. God sees everything. He is all seeing. The third teaching: sin distorts the way God intended for life. Humanity corrupted His way, meaning that they twisted God's intended order and purpose. Sin changes both personal behavior and society at large. The fourth teaching: God is grieved by rebellion. This verse shows God's pain over widespread corruption, emphasizing His relational nature. Sin is relational. It harms both us and God. Yes, God dislikes sin. God does not love sin. Yes, sin is against God. It is opposite of God. The fifth teaching: human depravity requires divine intervention. The earth's corruption set the stage for the flood. Sometimes God must act decisively to restore order and righteousness. Yes, the flood was necessary to restore order and righteousness in a sinful, corrupt world. The sixth teaching: everyone is accountable to God. All flesh highlights that no one is exempt from judgment or responsibility. God holds every person to his standard, not just leaders of the obviously wicked. But this verse is very crazy. Everyone was corrupt. Everyone in the whole world was corrupt and sinful, except Noah and his family. That's wild. Like the whole world was full of corruption and sin. Crazy to think about. Crazy to think about. The seventh and final teaching: God's patience has limits. Repeated corruption shows humanity's persistence in sin. God's justice will eventually respond to unrepentant rebellion, as seen in Romans chapter 2 verse 5. That's a spoiler, we'll get there. We as Christians should examine our own lives. Are we following God's ways or are we corrupting them? That's a question we need to ask ourselves. We as Christians should remember that God sees everything, even hidden thoughts and actions. We as Christians should avoid twisting God's purposes for self-gain or selfish gain. We as Christians should repent early to prevent sin from spreading in our lives and communities. We as Christians should recognize the seriousness of rebellion against God. It will lead to judgment and it will have very huge consequences. We as Christians should teach and model God's ways to influence those around us positively. Yes, we should aspire to be like God, like Jesus Christ. We as Christians should trust that God acts to restore righteousness, even in a corrupt world. So that's all I had for today, guys. Thank you very much, and as usual, God bless.